G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing this brand new Fortnite $1 million Super Cup that just got announced and why it's not what you think it is. And if you prepare and you watched my video today and you understand what's going on, it's your best chance you've ever got to get earnings in Fortnite. Because right now, not only with $1 million on the line, the prize pool is being spread out to the top 500 duos in some regions. And this game mode is super suited to casuals, but it's not just Marvel Knockout. I need to make that clear. Everyone seems to think this tournament is just Marvel Knockout. It's an entirely different LTM with different rules, different formats, and most importantly, different strategies that I'm going to go through with you to make sure that you're as prepared for this tournament as possible, because this is a really good chance to get your first earnings or a massive chunk of earnings that you haven't gotten in a while. Since Winter Royale, we haven't had a prize pool like this. So you need to focus up, make sure you watch my whole video so you get all the strategies, because I'm going to make sure you place as highly as possible in this tournament. Remember guys, if today's video helped you out, please chuck a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, it would mean so much to me. I hope this video helps you out and I hope you enjoy. All right, let's start off with talking about how this tournament is actually going to work, because a lot of people have just thought, oh, it's a Marvel LTM, it's going to be Marvel Knockout like all the rest. It's not. It's an entirely different LTM with an entirely different rule set, and honestly, the way it's going to work is really going to favor a bit of a casual player, a bit more of a competitive player, but if you're up to date and you know how the rules work and you know the strategies that I'm going to show you, there's a really good chance you can get your first earnings or a really good chunk of earnings from this tournament, because it's pretty much the first tournament in a really long time, basically since the last Winter Royale, where the prize money has been split so far out. So let's talk about how the actual format is, and then let's get into some of the strategy. So to start off, it's a duos tournament that's happening in every single region and has 2 rounds with 3 hours and 10 matches for each round. So pretty standard, just like your usual cash cups. You have 3 hours for round 1 and 10 games, and you have 3 hours and 10 games for round 2. Now, how you're going to qualify from round 1 into round 2 is if you're on NA East, NA West, or EU, you have to come in the top 1,000 teams, so top 1,000 duos. And then if you're in OCE, Asia, or Middle East, you have to come in the top 500. The scoring system is pretty interesting. It is decently heavy placement based. So remember, this isn't Marvel LTM, it's actually Battle Royale. So it's 55 points for Victory Royale, all the way down to you getting your first placement point for getting inside the top 45, and that's duos. So if you get inside top 45, you already get placements, and eliminations are worth 5. So it's 11 eliminations to a win, which it's not insanely placement heavy, but it's also not insanely W key. You'll see some pros pretty hard W keying for kills, so make sure you're ready for that, and we'll talk a little bit later about drop spots and strategies, but it's still going to lean to the side of playing for eliminations. You need to go for eliminations when you have the chance and when you have the ability to, and that's what we're going to talk about. Now let's get to the big point, the prizing format, because you heard that $1 million on the line, and it is very, very catered towards casuals in the sense that it's more like the Winter Royale we had in the past, because this is the biggest prize pool we've had for a single tournament pretty much since Winter Royale, and it's spread the same way. So if you're on EU, if you're in the top 500 teams, you're walking away with $600. Top 500 teams. When's the last time you saw a prize pool that went that far out? So this is where it's really good. If you haven't got earnings before, or you're a decent player and you've been struggling, this is your chance. Take this tournament seriously. First place is going to get $4,000 as well. So nothing to scoff at, but it really is a prize pool that's it's spread really thin. It's not as top heavy. So the $1 million is really being given to the community. So this is where you need to focus up, listen to my strategies, and get the big bucks. All right, now let's cover what is the actual game mode. What is the LTM you're going to be playing on? Because this is where we're going to start talking strategy. So it says, on November 21st, the heroic journey of the Marvel Super Series will culminate with the ultimate showdown in the $1 million Super Cup. If you are eligible and up for the challenge, combine any learned skills from the Marvel Knockout Cups with your traditional Battle Royale abilities to battle it out against other duo heroes for an opportunity to earn a share of $1 million cash prizes. Besides the addition of powers, the materials granted on elimination are reduced to 20 and a material cap set at 200 per material, so use your builds wisely. So this is where we get into strategy. So what do we learn from that? It's gonna be a regular battle royale. You're gonna have shotguns, assault rifles, SMGs, all the normal stuff is gonna be in the game. This is not a Marvel knockout LTM, but there's gonna be Marvel stuff in it as well. So it looks like there's gonna be superhero powers. So I'm imagining all of the superhero powers. I'm imagining we're gonna have everything you have in pubs, but what it just said then was you get 20 material on elimination. So there is a siphon materials of 20, not 50, which means that even though it's gonna have all these kind of different abilities, it's not pubs. Don't just think, hey, I play pubs, I'll be fine for this, because already you have one big difference. There's gonna be siphon. I imagine there's gonna be siphon shield. If there's siphon material, there might not be, but we'll have to see. And materials is capped at 200 per material. This is going to be intense. If you have, Iron Man's Stark Beam, if you have Thor's Hammer, you have all this crazy stuff, and you only have a max of 600 material each, you're gonna have to be insanely smart with how you play this and where you prioritize your drops and how you rotate. Now, a few of the things in here, I've come up with some good strategies and some good ideas of how to help you, but unfortunately, there is a bit of information I still need as far as are the items gonna drop at normal places? Like, are you gonna get the Stark Beam from going Stark? Because honestly, the way I'm expecting this to go like Fortnite does, I don't think so. I think the superpowers are going to be far, far easier to get. I can't see them just doing all this hype up with the Marvel game mode, all these smaller tournaments, and then you get into the big one and only 2 people in the game get 1 mythic each type thing. You know what I mean? I really think they're either going to start in your inventory, or you're going to find them on the ground, or get them as normal loot, like you get them out of chests and things. So this is going to be my bit of a guide video on how you can actually place this tournament, how you can perform well based on how I'm guessing this is going to work. But at the same time, again, don't worry, I'm going to have you covered. What I'm going to do is this tournament is going to happen in the Middle East and OCE a day before everybody else, same as always. It's going to happen on November 21st for us, which is going to be the day before yours. I'm going to watch that tournament on my stream. If you want to come watch it, twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. I'm going to be watching all these different game modes in all these regions. So after the OCE one, when I fully nailed out exactly what's going on with the game mode, how the items are dropping, how everything's working, I'm going to make another guide video. So be ready for that. That's going to come out on the morning of this tournament for you guys. So you'll still have a few hours and some time to prepare and really get into it. But there's still some stuff we can discuss now for my Middle East and OCE viewers and to kind of get your head around how it's going. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so you don't miss that video as well, because that will be your ultimate guide to placing in this. So if you've been playing a lot of the Marvel knockout duos, you know that the melee abilities, while being insanely strong, are really weak against range abilities. So that's what you're going to be trying to work on right now. If there's going to be a whole bunch of superpowers in this, you want to kind of have your head across how you're going to play this. Are you going to try and get maybe double melee items, you and your teammate, and just really get in on people with Hulk smashes, with Wolverine claws, things like that? Or are you going to try and play more passive, maybe prioritize the range abilities, sit back, chip away at people, and do good damage? Because the way I can see the best strategy for this going, and it depends on your skill set. If you're really, really nutty already, you're a really good battle royale player and there's a few superpowers in there, you're going to want to run mostly a normal loadout, maybe with just Stark Beam and maybe Thor's Hammer. But those are the main ones you're going to run. The 2 most broken superpowers when it comes to competitive, when it comes to getting eliminations while staying safe, is Thor's Hammer and the Stark Beam. They both shoot through builds, they both do ridiculous amounts of damage, and with only 600 mats each, people aren't going to be able to run for you for very long. So if you kind of like prioritize a bit of a range loadout, I'm thinking honestly, the best loadout if I was running this, and again, it's going to depend on what's in the game, I would probably be running Stark Beam, whatever AR you can get, shotgun, and then double meds, or maybe meds and 1 utility. So remember, you're going to need to be able to run. If you're going up against someone who has like Wolverine claws or Iron Man's gauntlets, you're going to get smashed very, very hard. Hulk smashes. If you go up against Wolverine's claw or Hulk smashes, you're going to get smashed out really quick. You're going to need to have shockwaves, crash pads, some kind of mobility to get away from that, especially if you're playing the range game. So what's going to prioritize really massively into your strategy right now, unless you're ridiculous, unless you're planning on dropping 30 bombs, you've got nuts mechanics, I would suggest landing edge of the map, because right now, if there's only 600 material, you don't need as much time to spend farming for ages, and material is going to be so important to not waste it. So what I would be doing is, I'd be landing edge map, maybe like Camp Cod, areas like that, maybe even like Weeping Woods, just somewhere not insanely central, a bit off, away from the major POIs, because that's where, people are going to be hot dropping Stark like crazy. It's going to be a massive grief fest. So I'm looking at islands, I'm looking at Camp Cod, I'm looking at Fort Tiller, center, those kind of places, right? Really try to avoid the center of the map. Now, rotate in late if you can. I'm talking boat rotating, maybe get your meds going, try to get in late so that you can position yourself using as few mats as possible. The only other strategy is if you're going to drop center map, like let's talk ruins or woods, you can try and set up early to save your mats, but I guarantee you're going to get keyed. So with superpowers in the game, some players are going to have a ridiculous advantage. So unless the superpowers just drop randomly around the map, and again, we're going to find that out, however you get them, the main thing you need to know is players with heavy superpowers are going to beat you. So if you box up center zone with wood and someone runs up with a Stark Beam and just starts just destroying you, that's not the ideal scenario to be in, especially with a format that is decently heavy placement. To try and qualify, especially into that second round, you're going to really want to make sure that you're getting to those end games consistently. And I think edge of the map is going to be the way to do it unless you're ridiculously mechanical. All right, guys, I hope that helped you out. Again, I'm just basing this off what we know about the game mode that's coming in. Some of my assumptions could be wrong. I'm just trying to give you the best understanding you can so you're not going in completely blind. But remember, come and check out my stream when I'm watching OCE. Go watch any of your favorite OCE streamers. I'm sure Fresh is going to stream it, Twins, people like that. Go watch them playing it so you can learn what's going on. And then make sure you stay tuned for my video, because once I see that, I will give you a full-blown strategy of exactly how to do this. So if you're an OCE in Middle East, try to stick to what I've just said. Try to go in with a bit of an understanding. But if you're one of the other regions, NA East, NA West, EU, it happens later for you. You've got time to prepare. And make sure you take this tournament seriously. This is your chance to get earnings. You might not get another one like this. This could be essentially Fortnite's Battle Royale. I mean, our Winter Royale. We don't know yet. If you liked today's video, please chuck a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.